All right, back with you tonight here on In Focus. Let's go back to the Limpopo province now. The lack of water simply has disrupted teaching at a school in Ga-Rantho village in Limpopo. Educators at Tibamoshito Primary School downed tools due to what they call unhealthy conditions and a dirty latrine. The South African Democratic Teachers Union Limpopo Secretary Tjebane, Sowell, joins us now for more on that. Good to have you, sir, and thank you very much for your time. What's happening there at Tibamoshito Primary School?
Yes, good evening and to all of your listeners. Yeah, indeed, we have been briefed by our side and the branch at Tibamoshito's school about the problems that are obtaining in that school. That one, there's been a number of issues, including the issue of the lack of water and also other amenities that are needed by both learners and teachers to be able to carry on the function of schooling there.
Yeah.
But also another issue that is obtaining there at the level of the school is the interference by some community members in the affairs of the school, wherein there's been people now who are also trying to interfere with the running of the schools, accusing both the SGB and the circuit manager of trying to manipulate the interview processes at the level of the school. So our teachers then started to feel threatened and unsafe by all the situations that are currently happening at the school.
Yeah. Now, it's the view, of course, of the Constitution and certainly the operations of government that nothing should interfere with the teaching and learning of pupils. This seemingly is not the first time that this is happening. The second time, maybe, that teachers have abandoned school there and therefore jeopardizing the teaching and the learning of the pupils there. What is the view of Sadtu on this approach that the teachers are taking?
Yes, indeed, you are correct to say that Section 28 of the South African Constitution says the rights of learners or of children are paramount in every matter that concerns those children. But here it's a matter that threatens both life and limb of the educators. And educators are human beings as well. You need to balance the rights of the learners as against those of teachers where their lives are being threatened on a daily basis by the elements that are happening there. Like we've indicated that indeed there are issues of sanitation and water that is threatening, but also other issues have just had to creep into the situation and thus worsening it. So in as much as we sympathize with the right of learners to learn. Also, as a trade union movement, we also sympathize with the rights of our educators to be able to be protected at all times in their workplaces.
What has happened to the principal? Was he chased away? Is he still on the reporting for duty at the school?
No, it's been happening for quite some time where the principal will be frog-marched out of the school. And when you are frog-marched out of the school or you don't feel that you are safe, the best option is to go to the circuit manager and start reporting at the circuit office until the situation is resolved with the community members there in the village where the school is situated. So that is the situation that is currently happening, where both the principal and the learners had to leave the school out of fear for their safety.
So the principal is reporting at the circuit office. What is the department provincially doing about this situation?
Look, what should happen is that both the districts and the province, as well as the circuit, they need to engage with the community members and find a viable solution that will ensure that both schooling and both teaching and learning happens outside the threats of fear and intimidation of the educators there. But we believe that once the authorities zoom in and they can be able to find an amicable solution to the problem.
So are you saying the challenges gripping this particular school are deeply rooted in maladministration? In other words, the reason why they've not been able to fix the water situation, the ablution facility situation, is because the school's management has not been handling the finances of the school properly?
Look, I wouldn't attribute that to that, simply because it's not even the function of the school to handle those two problems that we are talking about. It's the function of the local municipality, the function of the department to see to it that schools are provided with those things. And if there are any allegations of corruptions and stuff, the community members ought to know that they need to report this to the relevant authorities, which is the district, which is the province of the department, and they'll zoom in and institute an investigation whose outcome will then determine what is the next course of action.
Okay.
But it can't just be that community members who feel aggrieved by some of the things happening at the school, then they can take the law into their hands and start threatening the educators and the principal of the school. There are very proper channels that they need to explore in order to vent out their frustrations and anger if there are justifiable reasons for them to feel so. So that is the route that they need to take. But now if you start threatening and intimidating educators, there is no way that they will feel safe in the community. So that is what we are calling upon the authorities, that they must zoom into the situation in as far as it impacts upon the future of the learners at that particular school, who needs to be taught. And also we know that we are nearing the year end, and there's going to be examinations and stuff. So we don't need learners that are going to find themselves now having not been taught, but having also to deal with the final examinations of the year. So it is our fervent hope and wish that they need to go there and resolve the situation in whatever practical way is possible.
I suppose part of resolving the problem is to understand where the tension is. So is the tension between the principal and the SGB? Is the tension between the principal and the community because the principal does not or did not hire a particular deputy principal? Where is the point of tension here?
Yeah, look, that's why I'm saying the situation there is quite complex. One of it is that apparently they would want the school to hire certain people. That is what we are told. And those people probably have not been hired, and therefore it worsens the situation. So like I'm saying, if a person has not been hired and is aggrieved, there are proper channels of laying a grievance. You can also lay a dispute with the relevant authorities, and the matter will go obviously to a grievance procedure, and there will be an outcome. But what we don't like is when then the situation takes an ugly turn and the livelihood of both the teachers and the principal are threatened. So that is the issue that we are saying. The community need to be restrained in a way so that they don't just act in that fashion. They are able to follow the procedures and the like. Because the schools, communities are represented by the SGP. And therefore they need to talk to the SGP to say, here are the challenges that we have observed, and we want you to take these things with authorities, come and report to us on various intervals that they would have agreed upon, and the matter can be resolved. But now the person now who's suffering the most now are the learners.
Yeah. But Mr. Sowell, the SGP says they've been slapped with a protection order, so they are not allowed to set foot on the premises of the school at this particular point. And this, of course, they're saying has led to the school becoming ungovernable. For several occasions now, they've been unable to pass budget.
Yeah, that is the core of the problem. But what we are saying is that as and when those things are there, there are circuit managers, there are district directors, there is the province of education in Limpopo Those are the people who must take a very keen interest to see to it that those problems are being solved, are being resolved at the school. So we are calling upon them to say, they should have done that as of yesterday. They need to zoom into the school, find out what are the real challenges at the level of the school, and resolve those challenges. If the challenges are such that there's been maladministration, there is no way that we are going to say, as Sadtu, you can't touch any person. Once the investigation points out to that, it means the corrective remedial action must be taken in order for the school to function without fear or favor of any person. So that is what we are trying to say. Because sometimes you find that the SGP is partisan, or sometimes the SGP is doing the correct type of work that is expected out of them, but maybe they are not, there are differences perhaps or disputes with the authorities at the school. So those are the challenges that needs to be thoroughly investigated and being resolved.
So as Sadtu, you are not in support of the view that the principal should be removed there, because it seems the gap is growing larger and larger between the principal and members of the SGB. They are dissatisfied with his managerial style and especially how he's handling the funds of the school.
Yeah, look, the principal has been employed by the Department of Education. If at any case there are some challenges, those need to be resolved. Because if you just make wild allegations against the principal, those need to be proven. You need to come with concrete facts and say these are the challenges. But it can't just be people then who are acting like a group of marauders and then they go to the school and want to cause havoc there. They need to follow the proper channels. And that is what we are advocating for as the South African Democratic Teachers Union. Let them follow the proper channels and the matters will be resolved. They can't just go on about making allegations and even threatening the livelihood and even wanting to interfere maybe with the process of appointments, because those are also supervised by the circuit managers. They are also supervised by the district office. Those are the people that must take account of what is happening in that particular school.
Mr. Sowell, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Tjebane Sowell, he speaks for Sadtu in the province of Limpopo. He is the provincial secretary there on this matter. Of course, there are a number of players that we would need to speak to still on this particular matter, including the department in the province is the story we will be following on. Right, what's making news tonight on In Focus when we continue next?